Hello everyone, this is Wes Fryer in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is Friday, January the 16th, 2026, and I want to talk about cyber attack preparedness. Actually, I want to share 5 different tips for preparing for a cyber attack. And I'm going to, I think, share this as a video on my Communitarian Prepper YouTube channel. I'm into a bunch of stuff, but one of the things I think we need to do is prepare for emergencies. And there are all kinds of emergencies and natural disasters and things like that. And if you haven't noticed, our world is increasingly digital and we are increasingly vulnerable to all kinds of things, but cyber attack is one of them. And something that just happened this last week, and I don't know if it affected you. We are not with Verizon, we're with another mobile carrier, so it didn't affect us. But Verizon was down like for hours and hours, for a ton during, I think it wasn't 24 hours, but it was a large part of the day. And a friend of mine who's on Verizon couldn't get into his Cash App because the only way he could authenticate into his Cash App was with his phone, and his phone didn't work. The more that I've become aware of cyber issues, and this is from being a director of technology for an independent school in Oklahoma for 4 years and responsible for everything technology, including cyber stuff. Then also I do a almost weekly podcast and web show with my friend Jason Neiffer called the EdTech Situation Room, and we read all kinds of articles about technology and about security and about all kinds of things. And hopefully we're not going to have to prepare for some like massive power outage that's going to last a long time. And when you put the word prepper into YouTube, get ready, because there's all kinds of tinfoil hat preppers, and I think there's a lot of good information out there. I actually really do enjoy learning from the prepper community. But what I want to talk about is cyber attack, and it's going to be more of a short-term preparation. And here are 5 specific things that you can do. First of all, keep some cash on hand. Many of us are very dependent upon debit cards, plastic. We use credit cards, just not carrying cash. We live in a society that is increasingly cashless, and there's issues to that as far as surveillance and privacy and things like that and tracking. But look, if there is a temporary outage of internet services, cash is going to be the only thing that people are going to take. And it's important to have some cash around. So keep some cash. Number 2, keep your car full of gas. A year ago, was it 2 years ago in the fall? Last year, Hurricane Helene hit in western North Carolina and up in Appalachia. On my Communitarian Prepper channel, which is, I'll try to put the link in, I will put the link below this video, and I'll try to actually put it in here. It's comprep.wesfryer.com, COOCOMMPREP.wesfryer.com. I've put a variety of videos that I have learned a lot from, and there's an excellent video that I've got on that site now from a person who lived in Asheville, I think still does, and weathered the hurricane and all of the aftermath. And it's just a very valuable video of lessons learned. And one of the things is to have cash, all right? Number 3, maintain more than one bank account. Again, we are really vulnerable to cyber attack, and cyber attack, it could take down a power grid in an entire region. There's all kinds of scenarios of things that could happen. A particular bank can be hit with a cyber attack. And if that particular bank happens to be yours, and that's where you have all your money and you don't have cash, or even if you do have cash and you need to get more, it makes sense to have more than one bank account. So that's my tip number 3 for cyber attack preparedness. My 4th one kind of goes back to my first story of the Verizon outage that just happened this last week, and my friend who, for his Cash App, just had one way of authenticating besides his password. We've been using increasingly something called Multifactor Authentication, MFA, and it means that in addition to your username and your password, you do something else, like you get a text message. Most of those systems will have another way. They'll have multiple ways, okay? 2FA means two-factor, MFA means multiple factor, and you can enable more than one factor. For instance, on my keys, I have a physical key that I use to authenticate to some systems, okay? It's a This is cool. It's geeky, right? But it's a USB and a Lightning, so I can do this on my older phone or on my computer or my iPad or whatever. And it authenticates my identity. But you can also use some apps. I like to use an app called Authy. It's AUTHY, Authy.com, and it generates codes. There's a variety of different ways. And you can have an alternate phone. So if you would have a member of your family who's not on the same wireless carrier, you could potentially have that as a backup. But the point is, do not rely just upon phone verification. In fact, phone verification can be spoofed, and it's not one of the most secure, but it's one all of us, not all of us, but a lot of us are using. So use more than one. And my number 5 recommendation for preparing for a cyber attack is to prepare for a short-term power outage, a short-term outage of the internet, a short-term outage of electricity. I don't know if you noticed, but as I've just been here, it's like, 5:40 at night, it's dusk, and our lights went on in the back. And one of the things I recorded a video of recently was having our smart home be more resilient so it's not reliant on the internet. We actually lost our internet connectivity for about almost 2 weeks over the holidays, and we were gone for part of that time, so we couldn't get somebody here to fix it. And our router went out. It wasn't a cyber attack. But internet can go out and power can go out. When we were in Oklahoma City for 16 years, we had a whole lot of ice storms. We had frequently ice storms. And in some cases, you would have a neighborhood that would not be a high priority to get back on the grid. We actually did have a transformer, and this wasn't because of an ice storm, but a transformer went out on our block, and people across the street had their power, but we didn't because our transformer had gone out, and it took the power company a few days to actually get power restored. So what did that mean? As my dogs go wild in the back, it meant that our refrigerator and our freezer weren't working on the grid, and we needed to have either coolers with ice to put our stuff in, or we needed to be able to have a generator, and at that time we didn't have a generator. So part of what encouraged me to get this done today was that I needed to fill up my gas tanks. I keep a number of 5-gallon gas tanks for a generator that I have, and that's not going to power things for like weeks and weeks, but for a short-term power outage, and that can absolutely happen due to cyber attack or other things, it's important to prepare. So keep some cash on hand. Keep your car full of gas. I wouldn't let it get below half a tank. It's just a good idea to have that full. Maintain more than one bank account. Set up multiple alternate verification methods for your online accounts, and prepare for short-term power outages. Those are pretty reasonable things. I'm not a tinfoil hat zombie apocalypse prepper. I call myself a communitarian prepper because I think that we ought to be preparing to take care of ourselves and our families and also our neighbors. It's not possible to take care of everybody, but disasters happen and neighbors are essential. And when we have prepared, we can take care of ourselves and maybe help out some of our neighbors, and that's going to be important. So I hope you are well, and I hope you are taking some prudent steps to prepare for stuff that can happen. Take care. Have a great day and a great 3-day weekend. You happen to be seeing this today on Friday before the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday.